As promised, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the hard time attack against Gaius, the third Colossus. Now, I'm going to try and walk you through this as painlessly as possible because, in my opinion, this has got to be probably one of the more difficult things to achieve in this game, is actually beating Gaius in under the allotted time limit. And it's due to a lot of different things like inconsistent physics and just the fact that the hit detection in his torso is incredibly dickish. But let's go ahead and get started. I like to roll forward 3 times and to kind of provoke him with my arrows, which is good for us. So we'll go ahead and shoot him a couple times, because the idea here is to skip the part of the fight where we have to break off the part of his armor and do the sword jump immediately. And so we're going to try and do that right over here, dodge that, and if you don't know how to do the sword jump, I would say look it up, but it's pretty simple. You just grab the edge of the sword here, and then when he flings it back up, then you have to wait for that and then jump. Sometimes it doesn't work perfectly, but that's okay. But first thing we're going to do here, upon getting onto his body, is to activate the slight animation of him not freaking out like this. But basically what you're going to want to look for is look for his elbow to jet out, and you activate it by going on the back of his bicep, and I'm doing a really bad job of it right now, but you'll see his elbow kind of go into this weird position, like it should be doing it here in a minute. Any day now, maybe? Alright, there it is. Okay, so he does this animation where he's going to be hunched over, and this gives you at least a solid 20 seconds to just wail at this thing without him trying to fling you off, which is what he's always going to do, and you can't get a solid shot in unless you do this. So just be really careful that, you know, get as many hits as you can here. I think I did fairly decent, and we should be able to do it on this next one right here, because look, he's just hunched over. Okay, perfect. And that's just so that you can climb up his shoulder onto his back. And so now that that's done, we don't have to worry about the torso anymore. And if, whoop, okay, thanks. The camera also is very disagreeable in this fight as well. A lot of people would say to turn off the auto turning, but that does not help any matters at all. So, oh, also the video that I did this Colossus in, I actually got rid of his armor, but if you don't, you know, make him hit the stone platform at the bottom on the ground there, he'll have this armor here, so just keep that in mind. So now for his head. His head is kind of tricky as well. None of the Colossus's weak points on their heads are very consistent at all. You will also be flung off those fairly frequently, even when it doesn't seem like you should be, so there it is. Also, it's kind of hard to do perfect grips on it on this particular one, and that's just because of the polygons are really weird, and see, like right there, I shouldn't have been able to stay on that, but then he barely moves, and I'm being flung all over the place. But this one isn't particularly difficult, it's just this one can also trip you up. But all 3 of the sigils in this one is just kind of a pain in general. Okay, so one more should hopefully do it. There's surprisingly more health on his head, it feels like, but there we go. So I think they're all equal, actually. Now, the third and final sigil is on the back of his left arm here, and you can get kind of lucky if you just jump for it and get as close to this part of the armor as possible. Okay, I shouldn't have made that. But what I found to be a lot easier on this particular one is to hit the bottom of his weak points, and you'll be less likely to be flung off, which is great, because if you're like up there and hitting the sides of the stone armor, then it gets kind of annoying, which is irritating. So we're almost there. Alright, come on, baby, let's do this, Okay, one more is all we need, you guys. Okay, are you ready? This is it, and we got it. That is Gaius on hard time attack. Ladies and gentlemen, oh god. If anybody ever questions your ability to play video games, all you have to tell them is, hey, I beat Gaius on hard time attack, so yeah, there you go. Yeah, that one just kind of almost ruined this fight for me in general. It's still pretty badass, but we have to run away. Oh god, yeah, I think that was my fastest time ever, actually. Jump! Oh jeez. Okay, there I go. Oh god. Right, well, there you go. On to the video. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Elson Cruz, and I'd like to welcome you back to Shadow of the Colossus. We just vanquished with extreme prejudice the 4th Colossus, Phaedra, and in this part, we're gonna do the same with Avion. Hey there, aggro buddy, looks like she wants to be part of the action. No worries, love, you'll have your day in the sun. Anyway, as far as our items are concerned, I seriously thought about just using the lizard and fruit location items to get them out of the way, but I say we get the beefier equips first, because here we've actually got ourselves the Cloak of Force, which will increase damage done to the Colossi in addition to the effects of the Mask of Strength. Now, as you can tell, there's been a bit of a cosmetic alteration to Wander's veneer. And, you know, it looks kind of cool, I guess. I'm not the biggest fan, but hey, more power to the player. Literally. Now, I don't think I mentioned this, but for every 4 Colossi you defeat, your appearance will drastically diminish, and since we just got done with our 4th, you can kind of tell that the Forbidden Lands have not been entirely forgiving to wander. So our cloak goes from being red to white when you're playing on normal, and if you didn't notice as well, it's blue when you're playing on hard. So I thought that was kind of an interesting little distinction, but anyway, Avion is kind of in the same direction as Phaedra, so not terribly difficult to find, but I want to bring your attention to something else far more terrifying, is Game Grumps. As of this recording, they just uploaded their 6th episode, where they started right in the middle of the fight against Phaedra. But they opened with Danny stuffing marshmallows in his mouth, and I guess that went on for more than a solid minute. I mean, I don't know. They did end up beating her and actually got to Avion in the same episode, so that was more progress than I expected. And don't get me wrong, Grumps with John had more than its fair share of blundered intros and gameplay. I mean, Naughty Bear and Sonic 06 come directly to mind, but goddamn. I don't know. I haven't really watched much of the second coming of Grumps, and it feels weird to say that they were somehow able to dumb down their perception of their audience's intelligence even further. And actually, hold on, you know what, changing courses a little bit, I want to bring your attention to this rather odd architecture. These are what we call save shrines. Now what's awesome is that at each shrine there will be a shiny-tailed lizard roaming around it, and there will sometimes even be more than one of them, but you do have to save your game and reload it in order to collect it, so just keep that in mind. If you don't kill it, you can still eat its tail, but you need to make sure you kill it if you want it to count as dead, which, you know, goes without saying. So there are 25 shrines scattered throughout the land, and interestingly enough, most of them are pointing south, so I think that's kind of a cool little distinction to make as well. I don't know. So we're going to go on saving here. If you're on the PS3 version, you get a trophy for saving at all of them, so that's a little bit of incentive for you trophy hunters. So we can pray at it, and what's kind of interesting also is that it tells you the name of the region you're in on the map. So that's kind of interesting, otherwise you wouldn't really know. Don't mind my save files, you can kind of just tell how many hours I've already put in this project. But, yeah, backtracking a little bit. I don't mean to say I hate Game Grumps at all. Like, I really, really like Danny. Him and Aaron have really good chemistry, and when they're actually talking in a civilized manner, like they don't think they're addressing a bunch of toddlers, they're very enjoyable, but I don't know. Just seeing them play this kind of depressed me because, you know, I knew they were going to be making jokes about it the entire time, and that's fine. But a lot of their humor has practically been reduced to yelling and overreacting at stupid shit, which is what most of their fans probably want. But I don't know, maybe the initial novelty's worn off for me. I mean, it feels more like they feel it's their job to create mindless content as opposed to, you know, making well-crafted, self-contained videos of meaningful substance, and I feel like that's been getting to me. I mean, it's just eh. It's almost as watching NCS do it, but at least he respected the game and his commentary reflected it, even though he did fart like 4 times over the course of the game. Oh, the whimsy. At least it's not PewDiePie. Oh, God. Okay, I'm not even thinking about it. Let's just collect some of this good-ass fruit since, you know, we're playing on normal and it couldn't hurt to get a little bit of extra health, even though we are far and away from needing it. And, you know, we don't need to go straight to the Colossi in each episode. Just, you know, we can take in and enjoy the atmosphere and the game feel. It's so lovely. Like, for some reason, this is going to sound really weird, but something about beautiful scenery in video games is incredibly appealing to me, almost to the point where it feels like real life can't even compare to the alluring grace of places like this. And for a while, I wanted to know why I thought like that, because it's absurd to even entertain the notion that natural wonders like the Grand Canyon or Amazon rainforest would pale in comparison to something like this. Because they don't, not by any stretch of the imagination. And it doesn't help that I don't usually go out in nature as much as I used to, which is something I'd like to alleviate one of these days, but man, I don't know. I mean, media nowadays, movies and video games, special effects, I feel like I've become such a sucker for them. You know, seeing how not cemented in reality they are. And it's just like, I don't know, half the places I see in those mediums I would actually sleep in. But enough about that. Let's get back to business. I'm done. Avion's arena is not really as bad as people say it is. It takes place in a misty lake, and as we approach the dilapidated archways, Wander does a backflop onto the jagged rocks. That looks like it might have hurt, but he nails it, ladies and gentlemen. 10 out of 10. but... But, as Avion's name would suggest, he's an airborne Colossus, one of only 2 in the entire game. Now, he's not difficult by any means, but he's still one of the more enjoyable fights for an enemy that only attacks after being provoked, and otherwise can't do much to harm you otherwise. So, I don't know. Oh, interestingly enough, I don't know why I just thought of this, but in the 2005 E3 demo, the statues in the shrine show that Avion was supposed to be the 4th Colossus and Phaedra was to be the 5th. And I was gonna go look up why they would change something like that so randomly, but I completely forgot to do that before recording. It's probably inconsequential at best, but as we're walking across this rather strange bridge that leads nowhere, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you Avion. Ladies and gentlemen, the bird of prey Colossus Avion, and man is he quite the beast. Now, this one is interesting because you have 6 minutes and 30 seconds on both time attack difficulties to take him out, and he has the same weak points as well, so you have your work pretty much cut out for you. Now, a few of you might be a fan of movies, I sure as hell I am, and I believe it was back in 2007 and I saw this little movie called Reign Over Me, starring Adam Sandler and Don Cheadle. And basically the story is that Sandler's family was on one of the planes that crashed on 9/11, and throughout the film, he's just this really manic, depressed kind of guy, and I mean, you know, who can blame him? But there's a scene where he's actually playing Shadow of the Colossus, and this happens to be one of the Colossi he's fighting. And because I'm the kind of guy to notice little inconsistencies in movies, in literally the next shot, they're fighting the 15th Colossus and then switch directly back to this one in the same scene, which I found to be kind of amusing. But they showed it rather predominantly, and I thought that was kind of badass to, you know, show a game like this in such a high-profiled Hollywood movie and actually, you know, do it justice. It's by and away my favorite Sandler role, but it's been a while since I last saw it, so who knows? Who knows where it stands today? Anyway, like I said, he will not attack unless provoked, and what better way to get something literally 20 size your height and minding of those misses and shoot arrows at it. But once aggroed, he's gonna swoop down on you, and what you're gonna do is grab the moss. And there we go. Oh god, it still gives me the roller coaster sensation and the awesome battle music. Now his weak points are on the tip of both of his wings and on the end of his tail, which means that he is the only Colossus where stabbing him in his weak points are not anatomically fatal. The others you have to hit, you know, like their head or their spine or chest, but here we're just stripping it of its ability to fly, therefore it has no reason left to live. Alright, and now it's gonna do a barrel roll, or should I say an aileron roll. Yeah, God, I love this guy because he kind of reminds me of the legendary Sandbird from Sunshine. Yeah, I bet you'd never think that Ueda and Miyamoto were in cahoots together. Wander for Smash 4! Oh, okay, that was a little bit accidental. That's a little bit of speedrunning tactics there. While he's flailing around like that and doing highly advanced aerial maneuvers, if you time it right, you can land on his tail. Save a little bit of time, but I'm going to take care of his other wing here first, since that'll be a little bit quicker in the long run. So, with this now taken care of, there we go. I think I'll go ahead and risk it this time, actually. Do some speedrunning tactics. I think I missed my opportunity, but let's do it! You only live once, Wander! Ooh! Okay, there we go. That was actually kind of weak. But, you know, we still did it, and unfortunately, it's time to take this guy down. For last we barely knew ya. I'm sorry, Avion. Kind of far away from it. I think we might actually have a chance this time. I don't know if they'll be able to find us immediately. That wouldn't be very good. Swim, Wander. Oh, there they are. Okay, please just let us go this once. I just want to be able to wake up and not end up in a shrine. Just, oh god, look at those things though. They're just odds and shivers. No! Underground giant, huh? This intrigues me, but, with Avion taken down, ladies and gentlemen, I'd love for you to join me in the next episode of Shadow of the Colossus, where we'll take down Barba, one of the Colossi I'm personally more conflicted about, but I guess we'll get more into that in the next part, alright? My name is Ellison Cruz, and, hope you guys enjoyed it. Talk to you guys in the next part.